Seattle, median home prices rise to the highest level in 5 years. I had a number of people send this to me and they're like, what's going on? Prices are still going up. We've got more inventory on the market. Interest rates are still kind of high. Prices are going up. What's the deal? Let's get into it. Here we go. If you are a broker in I almost said Puget Sound multiple listing service. That is old school. That is from 30 something years ago. The Northwest multiple listing service. This is not a shocker for you that Seattle home prices are going up. Seattle's kind of got it. It's got its own micro market, and it's all based upon tech employment. Shouldn't say just tech employment. You got a little Boeing action in there too. You got some other stuff, but a lot of it is tech. Seattle home prices are getting more expensive. Seattle home prices were up 10% in June 2025 compared to last year. Year over year, up 10%, the highest in the past 5 years. So what do you have going on is you've got supply up, yes, but you've still got buyers willing to take this stuff down that aren't necessarily interest rate sensitive. And there's enough of them in the marketplace, and there's enough of them still coming in to the Seattle market to make this go. So even just a little bit of purchasing power is going a long way because there's still just not a ton of inventory on the market. And when stuff gets taken down, it's going up. The median sale price of a home in Seattle was $935,000 in June, while the month before it was $895,000. Over the past few years, median sales prices tended to drop around January and pick back up during the summer, as shown in Redfin's chart, and yada, yada. The lowest median home prices seen during that period were in January 2022. So, that was just post-pandemic, wasn't it? Yeah, because we were 2020, pandemic started, pandemic heat of the war was 2021, and we got January 2022. The Redfin also recorded the most searched areas to move to and from Seattle. And what you had happening where median home prices dropped in Seattle is people are moving out of Seattle and they're moving to the burbs. They're moving to wherever they thought that they could live their best life, working remotely, because we were told by the media, oh, we're going to work we're going to work from home forever. Well, that lasted a few years, and then governmental entities realized, all that tax money that comes into the downtown core, we're not seeing any of that because everybody's working from the burbs. So there's been this enormous push to get people back to their desks. We need you guys back in the office. We need you in the downtown core. Why? Because we said so. Now, it's been dictated from CEOs who have deals with politicians who need to run their cities with taxation money. Redfin also recorded the most searched areas to move to and from Seattle. The results showed thousands of people in Spokane, San Francisco, and Houston researched a move to Seattle from May 2025 to July 2025. Meanwhile, thousands of people also looked into moving away from Seattle to Bellingham, Portland, and Phoenix during the same period. Let's talk about that for a second. So you got people from Spokane, San Francisco, and Houston looking to go to Seattle. Okay. All right. And then people from Bellingham, Portland, and Phoenix away from Seattle. I mean, there's some real Portland. Portland, all bets are off with Portland. Portland's just as much a you-know-what show as Seattle is. Phoenix, yeah, you've got some different, you got a market there that's kind of, it's changed up. How about that? And Bellingham, well, it's close by. It's a big city, and moving away from Seattle to Bellingham, not a bad option. If you have to be somewhere close, Bellingham, not terrible. Portland, just a little bit further, and Phoenix, even further still. All right. Another staggering fact, while nearly 8.5% of U.S. homes were worth $1 million or more in 2024, so less than 10% U.S. homes crossed the board. So that number was 34.4% in Seattle, over $1 million or more. Over a third of the homes in Seattle are over $1 million median home price, meaning half or less, half or more. Seattle is just becoming unaffordable for a lot of people. because you're talking median. That means a ton of homes are up at 2, 3, 4 million, and some are less than that. Next section is, why are Seattle home prices rising? Well, there are more homes available than there were in 2015. Okay? I mean, that should indicate prices are coming down because more options, people have the ability to make an offer on more than one home, get into something. It's, technically a more competitive market for sellers. They got to price their homes just right. Otherwise, people have options. They can go look at, a number of things. However, an increase in Seattle workers has driven up prices. We continually have this influx of employment, just employment. That's been the Pacific Northwest. That has specifically been Seattle. As much as Seattle tries to drive out big business with misguided ideology and misguided progressive principles that basically push big business out, we're going to rely upon progressive revenue, just kind of like mayor of Chicago he's going to balance his $1 billion budget shortfall by progressive revenue, meaning they're going to tax big business. So here in Seattle, they've been taxing Amazon forever, and they're going to keep going down that road, and we'll just see how that works out. Meanwhile, 20,000 employees are moving from Seattle to Bellevue. For multiple years, there has not been enough homes to satisfy buyer demand. Manning urged potential buyers not to wait, as he doesn't see prices dropping significantly anytime soon. I don't either. I don't think that is happening. And in fact, what is happening right now is interest rates are coming down. I think yesterday I checked in and rates were at like 6.59, something like that. I mean, pretty close to 6.5. And when you get rates that hit 6%, you're going to have a big influx of buyers who at the current rate structure can't quite afford to get into, something in the $600,000, $700,000, $800,000 price range. But when rates go from 7 down to 6, that provides them enough of the ability to get in and make those payments that I think you're going to see them jump in hordes, because there's been pent up demand that's been waiting for this rate drop. And I think you'll see that. I think you'll see that this fall. And if that does happen, expect prices to go up significantly, because all of a sudden, it's not going to take much for the amount of inventory that's on the market. And when we talk about inventory over the last 3, 4, 5 years, you're talking about some periods where we have had historically low inventory, just simply not enough homes to go around, just not enough homes by any stretch of the imagination. And so you squirt a little bit of that gasoline onto the fire, get those rates down just a little bit, you're going to be off to the races. I truly believe that's going to happen, because these things go in cycles, right? We've been kind of bouncing around since July of 2022. We've had rates go up at a steep increase, and they've kind of held up there at that 7%. 7% for somebody with 20% down payment on $1.5 million home. You're left at some big payments at 7%, even versus 6. That 1% interest rate makes a huge, huge difference. So don't be shocked when prices continue to climb, because that is what is going to happen. And a lot of buyers are kind of sitting on the sidelines going, well, there's more inventory and rates are still kind of higher than what we saw, in 2020, 2021. So should we wait for prices to drop? No, bad call. Marry the home, don't marry the rate, right? That's fairly accurate in today's market. And that's from not only real estate broker standpoint, but mortgage broker standpoint. Hey, let's get you into a house. You can get into this, all right? Knowing if we got to do some interest rate buy downs, whatever, to get in, you get the house, and then we're going to refinance you when rates drop down the road. If rates drop down the road, that's the big gamble, right? What if they don't drop? Well, then you're kind of hosed, but at some point in time, they probably will. We've already seen almost a half point drop, right? So it's not inconceivable that they go down another half point. It's just not. So if you're realistic, that's what I would expect. So if you've got buyers lined up and they're waiting for not only rates to drop, but prices to drop, tell them yes on rates, but prices, and we're talking specifically Seattle here, which is contained, right? It's contained by, you've got I-5 kind of to the east, and you've got Puget Sound to the west, and you got some geographical constraints. You've got basically a different county to the north and down to the south. Yeah, you've got other cities that kind of hem Seattle in. So it's a tight geographic area. And from that standpoint, pricing has it's basically been buoyed up by employment. And a lot of folks think, well, prices should go down. Nope, not happening. Rates will, prices, no. Expect prices to continue to go up at, I'll bet, a slower rate than we've seen in years past, but still appreciation in a market where a lot of other markets are seeing a downward trend on pricing. That's happening on a national basis because there's more supply. And at some lower price levels, more people can afford. So they're looking at different options. They're not forced to jump in. But here in Seattle, if you got a job, you want to live in Seattle, you got to buy a home, you're going to take down what's there. Your employment-based salary probably covers the nut that it would take to cover on a lot of these mortgages, even at the $1 million mark. So that is kind of where we sit. I hope that helps. Let me know if you have questions in the comments. Thanks again for watching. Again, I'm Sean Reynolds from Summit Properties Northwest. I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.